Welcome to episode 437 of the Steel Cage podcast. My name is Derek Montilla, occasionally known as the Bro Derek, and I am joined by the challengers to the 11-time tag team champions. On my left, he's the phenomenal one and currently registered as a tag team. He is the Neo X.
Oh, here we go. That's the hand sign. Hello. We're live on Twitch at my Twitch channel. This is the first time it's come out. So hopefully you two viewers out there enjoy this show.
It's terrible.
Who's on? Some people are watching already. Amazing.
Yeah.
According to the stream thingy, it says 2.
Hello, friends.
That is intimidating. On my right,
I don't want to do this anymore.
No, I'm done. I don't like. I only do shows that are recorded and can be edited. On my right, it's Neo's Heavy, rocking a turtleneck and a fabulous gold chain. It's Uncle Beak.
Oh man, you know what? I am a Colossus, so I appreciate that introduction. How the hell are you, Derek?
I am fantastic, Beak.
Bro,
how are
Derek.
you, my friend?
Doing good. I got myself a smoothie.
Oh, nice. What's in that smoothie?
I have a combination of peaches, pineapple, strawberries, a little probiotics, some black cherry, and some limeade.
Does it have 100 milligrams of THC in it?
That's the
not
question.
This time, friends. I'm trying to keep this podcast together.
All right. On the Twitch stream, we're gonna do it straight.
Yep.
Well, plaid is big in the WWE. Am I wrong? I mean, we should all be wearing plaid. I know it's St. Patrick's Day, but maybe we should all be wearing green plaid. I don't know.
It's Monday Night Hurt Business. I tell you what. So
yeah, that's right, sir.
Plaid is in.
I'm up in the Pacific Northwest. Plaid is pretty much a requisite part of your ensemble. So yes. Let me head to the closet.
That's right. Well, your Daniel Bryan is doing big things on SmackDown, and the Hurt Business had their tag team championships taken from them on a very early match on this week's episode of Raw. But a lot of fun things going on in WWE.
That upset
I don't know.
me.
What do you guys? Yeah, let's talk about that, because I felt like, as we discussed last week, that, you know, the Hurt Business was, I don't know, should be and was a case for something that was working right, and it felt like they were being, you know, basically rewarded for that by being champions. It felt right for the faction to have as much gold as they did.
More
and
prestige.
It didn't last very long. Yeah, absolutely.
I think for sure, like, they needed more prestige. I said it exactly that, like, they should not have lost any titles until Mania, maybe Fastlane. It's literally like next week. I mean, come on, you want to lose it on a random ass Friday?
Seems like
Monday,
a weird
Monday,
Monday, right? Like,
yeah,
it seemed like a weird move. Like, don't get me wrong. Again, it goes to the New Day, so they're splitting my feelings here. Yeah. I'm never going to be mad about a New Day tag team championship victory. I'm always going to be excited.
It's redundant. It's redundant at this point.
But it's redundant. Correct.
That's the only issue I have with him. The only reason I think they could possibly do it is everyone likes the Hurt Business. We know that. So maybe they're just going to have them win those titles back at WrestleMania. Then we have all those guys standing high with gold at the end of the night.
Okay, that's smart.
That furthered my problem, by the way. I just want to say, like, I assumed that's where it's going. Yeah. After that, they won, and then we immediately had AJ Styles and Omos show up.
That was terrible. Terrible.
Well, no, it seems like they are. I don't know. It seems like it would be smart to put it on them, right? Like the New Day asked if they were registered as a tag team, which is a very good question. And I think that if they
Like,
are going to move,
do they get a card? Maybe.
yes,
Like,
it's a laminated card.
Managers had to get registered. That you have to have
That's
a manager's license.
correct.
So makes
That's
sense.
right. I have a manager license. He's right. I'm managered in 6 states.
You're managered.
I'm managered up.
Yes,
I am. Yeah, I
you had to
am.
pass the manager exam.
It would be so much fun to
Oh,
see Omos and AJ with the titles. I agree 100%. That'd be a lot of fun. But maybe
Right.
it's a quick drop to the Herbis. I don't know. I just want to see the guys with the cool gold shirts with the cool gold belts. You know,
I think that's the thing.
flat
It's-
suits and gold belts.
indeed.
I have all sorts of feelings about it because I'm excited about AJ and Omos being like a tag team challenger and a challenger for the belt. I'm excited about the New Day winning, and I'm kind of upset about the Hurt Business not retaining. It doesn't feel like the New Day needed it, right? Like it felt like they could have beat the New Day and had AJ and them challenge him. It's just the old adage that it had to be face versus heel, and it couldn't be essentially heel versus heel with AJ and Omos versus the Hurt Business, right?
Aren't the Hurt Business like your typical tweener at this point? Like, aren't they the chaotic or the evil neutral? Like
Chaotic good.
chaotic good? Okay, I didn't know how that stuff works out anyway. Apologies for even going for that reference. But anyway, seriously,
Oh, chaotic good, my guy.
I don't know, man. It's weird because it is a situation where totally redundant with the New Day, and the other two options are more fun. I don't know. Do you think Omos is going to get his first title with the tag team titles?
Stranger things have happened. I mean, this title is so disrespected that Braun won it with a 10-year-old boy at Mania,
Correct.
right?
Correct. Yes.
The other thing to consider is this is probably going to be Omos's like WrestleMania debut. Like, do you feel like they're going to show him fight at all from here till Mania?
And is it going to live up to the high expectations that Shaq set?
Did he use?
I'm doubtful of that.
Fu? Was there any Shaq Fu used?
Oh no, man! But I'm sick. My thing is Shaq's older than him, right? Like Shaq put his body on the line. I'm gonna need Omos to go hard in the paint. You know what I mean? I'm gonna need him to show me something at WrestleMania, especially if that's where his first match is gonna be, right?
Yeah.
I mean, is this happening at Fastlane though? Like,
no, I think
it's
they
happening
announced
at
it for
Fastlane.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Mania.
Oh, I hate Fastlane. I hate
Mania.
That's
talking
no,
about
we're in the fast lane. We are in the fast lane right now.
No. But they've already said on that show that Amos and AJ are going to take on the New Day at Mania.
Give it a googs.
I don't know what's happening.
Like, why are they
anymore.
booking Mania before Fastlane?
That's what I think. I don't think they did. I think this particular match is set for the next pay-per-view Fastlane, and then we'll see what the fallout is after that.
Well, okay, and you bring up a really good point, Neo. This is the reason why I really like what SmackDown has been doing. Not to change direction too vastly, but SmackDown has been addressing that exact kind of subject, right? It's something that WWE doesn't really want to address too much in the past because they at one point added all of these additional pay-per-views due to the fact that they had the two shows, right? And they had the specific tag team, or they had the specific pay-per-views to the shows. Now they don't have the specific pay-per-views, but they kept all of the additional shows. And there's just all of this, like, I can't believe we went from a point in my life where Royal Rumble was the pay-per-view before WrestleMania, and now we have two extra shows squeezed in between that. It almost makes the entire Royal Rumble main event seem ridiculous. SmackDown has done a great job of addressing that and addressing all of the potential fallout that could happen, especially when someone like Edge has a very particular plan in place that can't be screwed up. It's a formula. It's very specific, and he does not like Daniel Bryan messing with his plans.
Well,
it does appear that Neo is correct, though, to validate him.
Yes, it is a match that will be happening at WrestleMania 37 AJ Styles and Omos versus the New Day. Already happening. Forget whatever's happening at Fastlane. That's inconsequential.
So
Moving
that's
right
the
to
thing.
WrestleMania.
That's the thing. Like they're just so disrespectful to the tag titles. Like, well, who is the
couldn't even believe that happened.
who are the SmackDown tag team champions? Who the fuck are they?
Isn't it Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode?
That's how.
What is their tag team name again? The Dirty Dogs or some shit?
The Dirty Dogs. The Dirty Dogs.
I was
You
so
remembered
pulling
it, correct.
Yes. Well, damn.
That's the
I don't
thing.
even hate them. You know, I don't hate them because at the very least they've completely embraced the tag team, you know, that they are, right? Like they you could say it's stupid or whatever, but they're fucking going full force with it, and they
Dude, they're
are the
both
tag
great.
team champions.
They're both great professional wrestlers. I just
Right.
have a hard time finding interest in those two guys. But you're right. They are freaking going for it, and that's all you can ask for. And Dolph Ziggler is always one to really give everything. You know what I mean? That's basically.
I wouldn't have in a million years expected them to turn Otis heel, right? But they've done that.
That was
And I credit SmackDown with the fact that
What are they called? The Alpha Club or
I don't know. Where's Tucker? You know, that's what I call him. Where's Tucky? Tucky. It's like they just figured out a way to eliminate that guy from this equation with
you know what?
Money in the Bank belt or the briefcase. And he's gone, and it doesn't matter now. He's a tag team again.
If I could have booked that that group a little bit differently, I would have just brought back Jason Jordan just to have him as a trainer. He still has a good wrestling
Water Boy. He's carrying the towel for him. Yeah.
You know.
Well, isn't he?
He's like an agent now.
Right? Yeah. So
but like
non-physical role. He doesn't have to get bumped.
Yeah,
right.
like I thought, because if Chad, who's no longer Shorty G, by the way, who remembers that? If Chad is here training Otis,
I fucking remember it, and I hated every single day of it. By the way,
Shorty G.
So if he's training Otis, you should have brought back Jason Jordan, make it a thing, maybe like a special guest thing with like Kurt Angle. Who knows? Like the sky's the limit, but. It just goes to show you,
like
making
the funnest stable in forever.
Yes. I like how Neo just casually threw that together, and I was like, yes, I want to watch all of that. Everything you just said.
Why not?
Yeah, no, you're right though. I mean, it doesn't. It's a better use of the agents, in general. I like what they've done with, Adam Pearce and some of the other guys. But I'm 100% convinced that Pat Buck is actually Jeremy Jam from Parks and Recreation. Not sure if you're familiar, but I'm 100% sure that he is Jeremy Jam. I'm just saying,
you got jammed.
Yeah, you got jammed. That's why I feel like he says to Nia every time they have an interaction.
Hey,
but I don't know. They've done a better job of using them. They have a great, kind of historic lineup of guys back there, and there's a lot of use that they could provide as an on-screen role. I just think that at times they don't want to go that same route. AEW, meanwhile, utilizes a bunch of people.
Before we switch gears, I'm so sorry.
No, I'm not changing shows.
Okay. But talking about utilization, how mad are you that Andrade is not being utilized and he asked for his release and he didn't fucking get it?
Well, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised he didn't get his release.
How bullshit is that, though?
The entire situation is bullshit because we have no information to confirm that it's all directly tied to Zelina, but it feels like it is. It feels like everybody in Zelina's orbit somehow got punished for what happened with her. We've also heard that Aleister Black, it will basically remain in catering until his contract runs out. This is a ridiculous, petty ass use of two of the most talented guys that they have on the roster.
Especially with Andrade, a guy who, along with the Hurt Business, like they relied so much on through the pandemic. Like seriously, that group was those
No
two groups
kidding.
were the focal point of Raw.
No kidding.
Majority of the pandemic before they got things somewhat figured out. Yeah, Andrade is too good. He even with the mask on, he was amazing. Like La Sombra was one of the coolest luchadors ever, and that's what people were expecting to get. And they went with this version without the mask. And I think
some Playboy guy,
yeah,
in the beginning.
Initially, yeah, it was weird, but they fine-tuned that gimmick and it was great. Like they got the mouthpiece and they just threw it away over something incredibly petty. And it's not shocking at all. Like, so I mean, no one's surprised by any means, but ridiculous. Like they have such a better opportunity by actually utilizing their separate entities to actually make these gimmicks bigger,
to elevate it.
Absurd.
Yeah. And it breaks my heart that he took the time to trademark like La Sombra, to trademark, you know, El Ídolo. I think there was news that you know, Charlotte Flair trademarked Ashley Flair as well, you know, because there was talks about both of them jumping ship.
That would be one of the most exciting things
It
that
would
happened in
be
professional
the
wrestling in
most-
the longest time. I know it's ridiculous to say, but those
Exactly,
two
my
jumping
man.
ship. Do you
That
think,
would have
Derek?
been-
How huge would that be?
No, it'd be gigantic, man. I mean, it's less of him and more of her, right? Like
Yeah.
she is the golden child of the women's division.
She's
have
WWE
single-handed-
thoroughbred. Like
There's
she's
literally
right.
nothing more she can do there, though. Like the only if she really wants to change wrestling, like her going and jumping ship and maybe going to AEW. I know this is all speculation. She'd never do that, but imagine how great that him or her as his mouthpiece and him as her heater. Like it works so fucking well.
Here's the thing. I can see that happening because, like you said, she's accomplished everything that you possibly could.
Mm-hmm.
Once you start taking things like money and stuff out of the equation where you don't necessarily need that money anymore, or you know you can make that money somewhere else, similar money, maybe not as much, but
especially with knowing how unhappy her spouse is. Like, I know they're not married yet, but unhappy he is. Like, a company that's got him under his thumb over a decision, possibly, again, we're speculating,
possibly
a decision his friend made. It's so fucking absurd.
I'm just going to say this. I bought my wife a new refrigerator, a new microwave, a new oven, and a new dishwasher. They all
Here
match. And my life has never been happier. Right. So I'm just saying, sometimes it's legitimately about making your spouse happy so that and being together so that the two of you are happy. Right.
Plus, it's also one of the biggest news stories that could ever happen in wrestling. Like,
Yeah,
why would you not want to be part of that?
It would be
It's gigantic.
It would
right?
eclipse the list that Cody made like years ago. It'd be like on that level. The entire wrestling world would be on fire. And I'm not sure if you guys are staying up to date with like ROH, but he could easily go to ROH and just complete
just slip right in,
yeah, with La Facción Ingobernable, with his homeboy Roosh, Dragon Lee. You know, I think Kenny King is in there, and
their new logo is pretty dope.
It's so fucking rad. Yeah, it's a twist on Los Ingobernables, but like
that's a little bit more of a hopeful booking for Neo's part. But I really feel like,
I want it.
Again, I get what you're saying. It's got to be most likely where the money
right
is,
in my veins.
Right? It's got to be the AEW.
But think about it like this: they could even do Impact, because Impact has a pretty fire women's division also. Imagine Charlotte Flair versus like Jordan Grace.
But if she's a part of AEW, they could do that with this Forbidden Door.
And then the Forbidden Door in Japan.
Right. The Forbidden Door is
God, I love the Forbidden Door.
There's a door wedge in there. Someone dropped their fedora off on the doorknob. It's fantastic. Now, I will say that AEW did something tonight that was mind-blowing to me, which was put on a women's main event match that just was absolute fire. And again, WWE's done this before. AEW has at times been criticized for, you know, their women's division, for their lack of diversity at times, and things that they essentially promised early on before the show even existed that they would kind of fulfill it in the wrestling, televised wrestling world. right? I compared this at times, like I told my wife, to like your friends saying that they have a talking dog. And then you come over and the dog doesn't talk. And you're like, I don't know why I'm disappointed, but you fucking told me the dog talked. And now I expected to see a talking dog, right? The reason why I say this is because AEW set those expectations for us. It's not like people were just like, oh, this new promotion exists and it's going to be more diverse and it's going to feature, women more heavily. It was things they said at their initial press conference. So they set that expectation. And then when you watch their show and they don't have the same diversity, when Jim Ross is literally saying, look at this group, the Forced Horsemen, he's like, look at this group, look at this diversity. And it's just a bunch of white dudes. Like, it was incredible to me. It was incredible, right? But then
but you had like alabaster white. You had one guy with eggshell.
Oh, yeah.
One guy was more of
different shades of white.
I don't know if taupe's white. I run out of. I'm not great at improv.
Somebody was a mother, out, like a mother of pearl.
They have different hair colors. They have different hair colors. Yes, you said eggshell twice. But then at the same time, you flip to the end of the show, and AEW just had this amazing women's match between Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker that I'd say is right up there with a lot of legendary hardcore matches that we've seen on TV. I wouldn't even say TV, right? I would more likely say the kind of hardcore matches we'd see on a pay-per-view from some show, right?
How much I put over the hardcore match that Kenny Omega and John Moxley had. I was talking out my ass. This was fucking incredible.
It dwarfed, the women in their lights out unsanctioned match, dude. It is.
I love that gimmick, by the way.
Well, and I didn't know what it was going to be, and I thought it was going to maybe be something stupid. And then when I saw, that it was just what it was, like, I was like, oh shit, this is badass, right? Though I did want, like, I don't know if anybody else wanted this, but when Britt Baker turned over a basket of thumbtacks, I kind of wanted it to be like, I wanted it to be like teeth.
Ew!
That's Danhausen's gimmick, bro.
I'm sorry. Or like, I was thinking like retainers. Retainers would be awesome. Like, she just dumped out a bunch of retainers.
Or hilariously, like, she tries to embed tongue depressors in her forehead.
Yeah, that would be. Dude, Britt Baker, absolute legend in the game, man.
It looked like she took a chunk, like, right out of her fucking skull, dude.
I don't understand what happened there.
Gnarly.
I have to fully admit I was not on board initially, but she before this time won me over, but now I'm totally sold on Britt Baker.
Can you guys see the share screen? Just
we're taking a look at it. It's
these
brutal.
Ladies,
brutal.
These women, these warriors, like, they just beat the living dog shit out of each other.
Thunder Rosa, she's always been tough, but
right,
this was really something.
The amount of thumbtacks that they both had in their backs when they were going for that final spot through the back or through the table, crazy.
And they kept on rolling the pin over still in the thumbtacks.
Yes, on the thumbtacks.
In the thumbtacks.
Like, you don't have to, like, we're all cool. You don't have to do that.
You guys are look at that. She's biting there's COVID out there.
Yeah. All the COVID. Shit. Oh.
It's like, we all complained about the jaws that got broken. 2 people get COVID. We're like, oh shit, for a wrestling match, damn. No.
Yeah, like this, the match in itself was just brutal from start to finish.
Tremendous.
I thought Rebel was gonna be more involved, and I thought, well, this is probably gonna be a shit match. But when she when she sidelined, more than half the match, let's just be honest, like, it was a great match between these two. They did stuff like I've never even seen, like, men do. I think. What's the hold on, let me.
It was one of those situations where they were definitely trying to make something incredible happen.
They realized what platform they had, and they were going to go all out.
Absolutely. I give a lot of credit.
I think it was right here,
Thunder
the
Rosa.
freaking power bomb. Goodness gracious.
In the power bomb into the thumbtacks. I give Thunder Rosa so much credit because I felt like she brought a different dynamic to NWA when I saw her there.
Fuck, dude, that looks brutal.
I've been a huge fan of hers for years. I mean,
for sure.
Me and my daughter went and saw her when my daughter was really little at a lucha show here in Phoenix in a strip mall with like, 50 people there. It's one of those kind of shows, right? She was teaming with Holodead, and just not only an utmost professional, but like it was in that show that you could just see she was an absolute star. Like everything she did once she came out, everybody just stopped all the chatter and everything and was just fully paying attention to what was going on in the ring.
Yeah,
she did like this dance off and shit, and then proceeded to kick some dude's ass, which isn't surprising and totally up her alley.
Like she does legit mixed match, whatever. Like she does intergender wrestling is what she can do, and she can go with the best of them.
I have to ask this: is there any other woman who is currently an MMA fighter and a pro wrestler? Because I know that she's not
Shayna Baszler technically,
Well, is she still fighting MMA, or is she is she retired from it, right?
There probably is, but not as high profile as Thunder Rosa, clearly. Like definitely no name that springs to mind immediately.
And I know she's not doing it like at a high level like on UFC or something like that, but again, it's like Jake Hager at the same thing, right? It's just an active actual fighter who's doing that on one hand, and then also coming to this environment and bringing so much to this spot through the table.
Oh my god! The fire thunder driver. Oh, geez.
Through a table outside of the ring.
I love that earlier in the match when they did the power bomb.
The frame, like even the frame of the table would probably cut some shit up, dude. Oh my god, poor Thunder Rosa.
When she kicked out of the tax powerbomb, Britt Baker, they're like, how could she be kicking out? I was like, she doesn't want to continue with her back on all those thumbtacks. She's getting up as quickly as possible. That it's like one of the gnarliest matches ever, because look, the pictures that they have of Britt Baker online, and even what we're seeing now, she is literally a crimson mask. Yeah.
There's a shirt you can already buy.
No, they didn't.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the shirt is already available.
That's not surprising. Again, something that's not surprising. AEW making a shirt.
Got to capitalize. Here's the thing, though. You also got to make sure that there aren't enough available for people to buy. That's another big part of their whole.
Even if you're in person and ordering on an app, Derek.
Correct. Yes.
Oh,
Even
man.
if you're there before the show starts and you want to buy the shirt for the main event, it's already sold out.
You gotta take a number.
If you want one of their action figures, buy it off Ringside Collectibles for double the price.
Dude, you can't find those at a toy store or a regular store at all. Like the WWE ones are there, but you can't go to Target and get any of their stuff.
I went to Walmart and I've paid attention to this. My Walmart gets one box of AEW action figures. One single box. They put one of each guy out on the peg, and that's it. That's all they get.
Hey, Jeremy,
I got Orange Cassidy at the last.
Oh, you're showing the shirt?
So.
Yeah, dude, look at that. The role model. She's just covered in.
I do not see it on the screen I'm looking at right now. I just see your desktop. Sir.
Okay, sorry.
That's right.
Let me try this again.
No worries, man.
There it is.
There it is.
All right, yeah, that's pretty freaking dope.
Dude, it is pretty freaking rad.
Main event role model. God bless her.
That is rad.
Yeah, it's if she hasn't won everybody over by now, you're just like actively dislike this woman.
I got nothing for you.
Yeah, exactly.
I got nothing for you. It's kind of like it was my feelings on Pentagon, who also had a big match where I was just like, if you don't like Pentagon, then I don't think you like pro wrestling.
That's just weird.
If you can't watch this guy and get hyped, then I don't know what to tell you. Tonight he was a hype train against Cody, and I was infuriated by this match.
The Lord of Lucha Libre?
Dude, even last week when he had the translator,
versus the Prince of Wrestling.
Last week with the translator was such a great bait. Just even set up this match,
yes,
escucha, and then he gives the guy the freaking microphone.
The translator.
It's tremendous.
It's fantastic.
And then he's not speaking your language. Like, oh, Penta, you're such a pimp.
See, that's what they should do for non-English speaking talent. They should just put subtitles. Like, what's the harm? Just put subtitles.
It's not even subtitles. Like, it's something that sports media have to deal with, right? Like, I interview a lot of players that speak Spanish. I don't even speak Spanish that well, but I could probably at least ask some questions. It doesn't matter. It's not the answers and the questions that they're worried about. It's the fact that they want people that are listening to the answers to be able to understand it, right? So the baseball team provides a translator. It should absolutely be the same thing for pro wrestling. I think
it's not hard.
Well, at the same time, for some of the characters, it kind of adds the mystique that maybe we don't know what they're saying, or only a select few are gonna catch the meaning. Like, you know what I mean? That, like when Asuka comes out and just rattles off in a bunch of Japanese, I don't want a translator for that. Says. Like,
no, you're absolutely
awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
Starts rolling those really
it
fast.
Just sounds great. It's like, this woman is pissed.
Well, and it's
it's gonna be that one bit where like when I'm talking for Penta, I'm gonna be saying I, but really I'm saying him.
Well, what the great thing about it is that someone like Pentagon or someone like Asuka have the same thing, right? You don't even need to understand it. Like, you literally don't. The language kind of transcends, and the charisma transcends, right? And it's to a point where you're just feeling the vibe off of them. It sounds like someone's singing or some shit when they just start going on a tear. But I was just really pissed by this because I was present at Revolution, and I remember there being some sort of storyline about Cody Rhodes injuring his arm really bad. And then I was watching, and they talked about how he separated his shoulder, but then he's back facing Pentagon, and he no sells the goddamn arm breaker.
Yeah, the arm breaker.
Yeah,
it was kind of shit to me too. Like I saw him, like, oh, he's fine, I guess.
I went on Twitter the week before, and I knew I wanted Penta to win so bad, but I knew it wasn't going to happen. I hated that I was right in this situation, dude. It was the worst way to go about it.
Let me just say this. I want to go off for a moment because I have supported Cody Rhodes for a long time. I like Cody Rhodes a lot personally. We've had personal conversations, believe it or not, through DMs about his time in PWG and other things like that. But things have changed. He's this whole AEW thing. And I really hate everything. I hate, like, it's like you try to give them the benefit of the doubt. You try to wait and see where it's going. You try to think like, okay, this is long-term storytelling where maybe they want us to all kind of hate Cody, and then he's going to turn heel and he's going to be like this, I won't say like Vince McMahon character, but almost up there, right? Where like somebody with a lot of control in the
Matt
company.
Hardy right now, right?
Sure. Yeah, exactly. Or even what's going on with Kenny Omega, right? With Kenny Omega, with Don Callis and everything like that. These guys are the champion and they just have a lot of power. I don't know why this pissed me off so bad live in person, but watching the entire fucking show, watching the entire pay-per-view, it really rubs me the wrong way that only Cody got to come out of the middle of the arena.
He has that special entrance.
His own special entrance. It made me so mad because I was just sitting there going, that should be for the fucking champion. That should be where the champion comes out.
Good take.
Not some fucking guy. Not some guy who can't He can't even fucking challenge for the championship. Why does he get his own special entrance? Fucking
That's why. His intro music has intro music. This guy,
like, okay, so like, right? His intro music, it does. It fucking does. Like at the end of their match, right? We had this thing where QT came out of the heel side, and after the like Nightmare Family guys,
you okay, Cody?
Fucking face side. Like, I love those little nuances, right? Like they never really ever address the fact that they have the heel tunnel and the face tunnel, but then when you pay attention to that kind of shit, you're like, oh, that's funny. He came out of the heel side, so he's a heel.
I love how the Nightmare Family is a babyface group.
Like, that's the biggest joke.
Family,
right?
But then you have like these splinters with like QT Marshall, right? And maybe his homeboy. He's like QT's got a heavy hitter in Dark. I don't know his name 100% yet, but he's like some big buff guy. He looks like Barbarian from back in the day.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if the Nightmare Family is going to splinter one of these days, you know?
It should. I mean, like I said, my feeling on it personally was the inevitability that Cody was going to become so like, so grandiose, so delusional that he's the king of wrestling, not just the prince. And, that it all kind of led to a nice heel run. but it's exactly what we're seeing with Kenny. So it can't even really happen because it would come off as being now kind of,
parody booking of the
parody of that, or like
storyline,
just straight up copying their own story shit, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Pentagon is a bad motherfucker, and I hate what AEW's done with him, despite the fact that they've still featured him very nicely. I just think that like things that I watched them do with Cody tonight,
that pissed me off. He fucking
made me
won
upset.
with some bullshit roll up. That made me mad.
And I don't know, like, see, I'm such a head ass about pro wrestling that when something like that makes me mad, I'm like, maybe they want to make me mad. I don't know. Like I start fucking blaring it and shit, like, because I'm like, maybe it's leading somewhere. Just wait. That's the biggest problem with me with pro wrestling is I always tell myself to, like, especially now, 5 years ago I wasn't like this. 5 years ago I was bitching about Roman Reigns, fucking having tantrums about shit.
Dude, you should have heard me like a decade back bitching about John Cena. It's like,
yeah, no, same thing.
Guy.
Same thing. Like for me, John Cena kind of ruined pro wrestling for me for a period of time because it was ha ha ha, LOL, Cena wins, right?
Yeah.
And it didn't even allow me to enjoy the other stuff going on around it, right? So I think that's kind of something that sucks. Now we're to a point where unbelievably on SmackDown, Roman Reigns is giving better promos than Daniel Bryan, and I'm watching Daniel Bryan struggle, like legitimately struggle with just minor mistakes that anybody could make. Somebody like myself makes on a daily basis on whatever show I'm at, right? But Daniel Bryan is a professional and he usually does a stellar job. It was to the point that I was like, again, head-assing the situation going, is Daniel Bryan fucking up his promos just to make Roman Reigns look better in this whole situation? Because Roman Reigns just came up and just ate his ass up. He ate him up like a bowl of cereal. And I was like, oh my God, what is happening? I like Roman Reigns more than Daniel Bryan. Well, fucking up is down, left is right. I don't know what is going on.
Daniel Bryan.
You learned to be less head-ass, but now you got a little head-ass again.
I'm completely head-ass.
That'll happen.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Daniel Bryan threatened to bring the vegetable tray to the Samoan barbecue. Like that was his entire thing. Like he's just going to bring the vegetable tray there, and just...
I wouldn't be mad. I love a veggie tray.
It's all
good. Go nice with the meat. I imagine if they roast it.
Celery. Yeah. Who doesn't like a good celery?
Oh, I don't like celery at all. That's
I brought that one up because it's so controversial. I love celery. What about a cucumber? A cucumber?
Cucumbers are good. I like cucumbers. Cucumbers are all right. All right, I'll take a cucumber. I like it. I do like to peel my cucumbers beforehand. I do that. I do the peeling.
Those are called pepinos. We pickle our cucumbers.
That's right.
Yeah,
I pickle my onions now.
Those are pickles.
No, shut the hell up.
No, he's right. He's right. When you pickle a cucumber, it's now a pickle.
You know how so many people don't realize that cucumbers and pickles are? Sorry, this is slight divergence, but that's the same.
No, are you fucking serious? No,
there are people who don't realize that.
I don't care. We're not talking about those people. Those people
let's keep
are
going.
idiots.
Sorry.
And we're moving on with our lives. You save it for the snack podcast. We do that on a different
My
show.
guest feature, Jeremy and Zon, we're gonna eat pickles.
Right. We are gonna eat
cucumbers.
An entire array of pickles. Yes, absolutely. What else though here on Daniel Bryan? Neo?
Well, I mean, he cut that I guess crap promo enough to get Roman to sign. Like I would have liked it if Roman just didn't sign. Like it would have been cool. He should have just not signed the contract. He just
you're beneath me. You're beneath me, Daniel Bryan.
You're beneath me, DB. I would have liked that, but he cut.
I agree. I think the continuation of the I already beat you storyline could have gone a little farther. I at times get frustrated with that because WWE sometimes will like shoot their entire storyline shot in 1 week, and you're like, you could have stretched this out until the pay-per-view, right? Like I get that there's not a lot of time here because you jammed 2 pay-per-views in between the Royal Rumble.
Like there's stuff.
Just without even any lubricant.
Speed
you know what I mean? Just
on the road
put
to
it in
WrestleMania.
dry. They raw dogged it right in between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. And now we have these 2 lumpy pay-per-views shoved in here. But I still like the way that SmackDown handles a lot of it. Even if they don't always go in the best direction that they could have, they still answer a lot of stories. Like I said earlier, they bring out the fact that there are these 2 pay-per-views and there is this potential that the entire situation could change, even when the Royal Rumble winner has decided on who they were going to fight. Yeah. I like the fact that the Royal Rumble winner and Edge is mad about this. I think that there's a lot of like actual real life emotions being addressed here in the fact that, all of this is happening. But it also makes me kind of feel like Edge is I'm like, you're a baby. Like, obviously this could happen. It's fucking wrestling, right? Anything can happen. The guy you chose to beat might not be the champion 8 weeks from now or however long the pay-per-view.
So you're saying he's on Edge?
Oh, Neil, can we cut him from the show?
I'm gonna mute this guy.
Just mute him, drop him off, whatever we need to do.
My biggest gripe though was after that pay-per-view signing segment, right? Jey Uso, yes. He's like, I'm tired of the disrespect. I'm gonna be a special guest enforcer. Like, where did that come from?
It's so extra, right? Like, it's so weird.
Apparently he booked it, and they're like, oh, you know what, Jay? We like it.
Yeah, we like it. You're in.
Yeah,
you're in. Then I like your moxie, kid.
Yeah, this guy calls this thing on the fly. Do you see that, Vince?
Like Adam Pearce, you're gonna be put out of a job pretty soon.
It's like they're right.
It's Rusev all over again when we went backstage and Vince was like, they were trying to bury you, but you didn't let them. I got a special bonus for you, and it's you getting cut. That's what you got. That's what you get, Jey Uso. You're cut tomorrow.
And it was weird because, like, again, perfect timing. Edge comes out. Hey, we're gonna have a match, and yeah, we're gonna fight for that enforcer shot. Like, why? Why would you? I mean, I don't know. I haven't been the biggest fan of enforcer matches, in my opinion, just because you always know that there will be some sort of schmaz.
Yeah, it ends up being ridiculous, overbooked nonsense.
But why would Edge give a shit?
Yeah,
why would Edge really give a shit if Edge's end goal
is just to win,
to have Roman Reigns win so he can face Roman Reigns, who he wanted to face in the first place? Why would he give a shit if Daniel Bryan won? Right? Like, I only feel like Edge is going to be out there to further help Roman win, which is going to make me dislike Edge. So they're not going to go in that direction. He's going to go out there and try to do the honorable thing and have Daniel Bryan's back. But then there'll be some controversy. And I feel like this is inevitably leading to a triple threat match at WrestleMania.
I honestly feel the same thing. Like, there will be some sort of triple threat schmaz. And then of course maybe Roman loses it, but he pins Daniel Bryan, and then Roman's gonna have some sort of gripe to be like, you never pin me, blah blah blah. But then there's gonna be some sort of But then Shane McMahon said in his rules, there's no more rematch clauses. But then we're going to break that rule and have a rematch anyway the night after Mania. And then Roman's going to win it.
You got it all laid out.
I hate how right he probably is.
It sounds pretty good. It sounds pretty good.
Stupid WWE.
I mean, I don't know what's happening.
But it's so predictable now. Like, the only thing that I liked about WWE this week was when Heyman was on some talk show and said, like, The Rock
talking smack.
Talking smack. Thank you. He said that The Rock was thinking about fighting Roman at Mania. Like, what's your thoughts on that?
I want it to happen so bad. That would be so killer.
That'd be a money match. That would be money.
Needs to be in front of like a regular crowd. Do you think?
No, there's going to be 40,000 people. There's going to be 40,000 people at Mania. Remember?
Pretty decent. Yeah, that's pretty decent.
Well, actually, no. It was announced actually today. It's going to be 25,000 people. They're not 25 full capacity. 25,000. They're going to still let UFC.
Still pretty good.
Be the full capacity thing. And yeah, you're right. At a 40,000, 50, I don't know what Raymond James Stadium holds, but it's a big football stadium.
I thought it was supposed to be 75% capacity, but they haven't announced like what the special restrictions would be, like if they would require vaccination cards and or maybe testing or quarantining, right? They never said anything.
I'll tell you this much. Here's what I believe. Anything they say about that is bullshit, because I was in Florida, and Florida is a fucking nightmare. We live here in Arizona. Beak, you're in Washington. I think we're all going through the same thing where, yeah, we have those occasional instances where we might see somebody in public, uh, breaking the rules, not wearing a mask, not going into a store with a mask on, whatever. But it's usually, the like the one exception, maybe one person. Like every time I've seen it, it's always
two
been
people
just
walking
one
together
person.
trying to be defined.
Yeah, right. There was a family one time I saw, and that the kids weren't fucking wearing masks, the parents weren't wearing masks, whatever. Right. But yeah, you're right. Like it's usually together. Florida was fucking wild. Like I couldn't believe it. Like, don't get me wrong, everywhere I went, every employee in every business was wearing a mask. So it wasn't like masks aren't a thing here. This is, this
quarantine.
is right. But it was the people, and it was the lax rules, and it was the fact that the only business we went into that required people to wear masks was a Starbucks, because that's their corporate policy nationwide. And they don't have specific state policies. I even said that's the reason why we probably have these instances in Florida where people fucking flip out because they tried to go into a Starbucks after going to all their other stores all day long without a mask. And then they went into a Starbucks and didn't have to wear a mask. I am not confident about Florida and WWE's ability to hold this event, but I will say that it's as easy as your own policies when you're in control of the building. If they choose to make everybody wear masks and everybody social distance, then 25,000 people in a 100,000 seat stadium or whatever isn't really that bad, especially with the floor seats and everything else.
I think they can space that out pretty evenly, and maybe do like assigned, like, exiting of the building or entering of the building, so on and so forth. But I don't know, like, is WWE wrong for trying to put in like a quote unquote capacity crowd during a pandemic? Like, what do you think about that?
I'm not a big fan of it.
That's a lot. Like, mind you, Derek, when you went to Revolution, how many souls did you think were in the stands? Like, if you can give yourself an estimate.
Probably, I'd say a couple thousand, like maybe like 2,000.
Right, maybe 2,000, whatever. But you're talking like 20,000 people.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, this was in this situation, Daly's Place is a smaller venue,
right?
So you don't have the same, it's like big venue stretching out that you can do, right? But we had a lot of issues. Again, I've complained about the merch, but like standing in line for food, standing in line for the bathroom. There were huge lines for the bathroom, huge lines for the merch. There's things like that I don't think that they always think through. I was just at a fucking, miniature golf place today, trying to take my daughter on her spring break to do something besides sitting in our house for fucking, 7 days straight playing on her tablet. And when I was at this miniature golf place, we had a great time playing golf, social distancing. But when we had to go like pay and return our golf clubs and shit, we literally had to stand in this like zigzag line where I was like just face to face with some other mouth breather. You know what I mean? Like, I don't fucking want to be that close to another human being.
I did.
And it's like
did you score any bogeys?
All of this other shit through, but they never think about those situations, right? Like they never think about, hey, well, let's do something to extend this line in a way so people don't have to, go left and then right and then be face to face with another human being during a pandemic.
Take in mind, Derek, you did go to a mini golf place run by tweens and teens.
Correct.
So
correct. To be honest, there were a lot more people my age there than I was just I was concerned for their life choices, let's just say. But I can understand. You work for a fucking place like that. Who doesn't want to go to an amusement park every day? I would love to do that, but
I have to sanitize my hand every time I put my hand in one of the holes to get my ball out. I'd be like, somebody was putting their hand in there. Gross.
No, that's why you got to get one of those gopher claws and just pick it up with claw.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's why I bring a 9-year-old child. I tell her to do it, and then
your immune system strong, little girl.
You don't take your caddy when you go mini putt, when you do mini putt.
No, I don't bring my Reginald. No, I don't bring my Reginald.
I was gonna
with
say
me.
Reginald. Good
Dude,
job.
speaking of Reginald, fuck this guy for being the main focus point of the SmackDown women's division.
Isn't that hilarious
Oh.
how he went from just being a side character to now a side piece?
You know what's funny? I'm gonna say something in favor of Reginald is that I actually adore him with Nia Jax, and I think it works very well, right?
He
Like,
knows
there's just some-
Capoeira.
Oh yeah, he's
He
a
was
badass.
Yeah, he was a wasn't he part of Circus Soleil? I think so.
Banana way.
Banana way,
Banana way. Okay. But yeah, no, he absolutely does capoeira. He absolutely does capoeira. And I think that I don't know, like there's just some things that work for me, and like I just see a potential of, I think,
Love
mostly
over the strong.
comedic enjoyment of Nia Jax and him being together. I don't know, but I'm with you. I'm not huge on them taking the women's division and diluting it with men, right?
It did with Ellsworth. It worked so well with James Ellsworth. Just kidding.
Did it? Did it?
Sarcasm.
It actually did. He was pretty fucking terrible, but great.
We're
but
not
he's
watching
terrible
Only the
in
Strong
real life
on this podcast.
Yeah, now we're watching Only the Strong, and that's what this podcast is going to become. Thank you guys for listening to Unfunny Nerd Tangent number 176.
Also,
no,
okay,
you're right. It is weird and kind of undermines them all just to have him be such a focal point. But hey,
it's
hopefully it lasts
asinine.
too long.
It's asinine. Like, why can't the tag team titles just be the focal point? Like, why can't we have a competition? You know, I get it.
No.
Like, there's gimmicks and stuff, but tell me why. Okay, tell me why Reginald caused the distraction finish on the 8 on the. Yeah, go ahead.
I can't tell you that, but what I was going to say is that the biggest thing for me is the entire like tag team being wrapped up in a rivalry also with the women's champion. Like, that's so unnecessary when you have so many women to feature. Why is that the case? Like, you can't think of anything more creative than for them,
line.
right? Like, exactly. I don't get that, and that's, you know,
and then look
kind
at
of annoying to me.
And then look at this shit. Tamina, who hasn't won a match in years, rolls up the next contender to main event WWE because of fucking Reginald.
So why? That is something that I can't wrap my mind around at all. Like,
they see something that's in this guy.
No, they do not. They do not see anything in Tamina.
You see him flip? Sure. He did flips.
Oh, he does do good flips. The best flips.
I get it, but then, you know, you had Tamina take a pin. Yeah, like if Bianca Belair is supposed to challenge Sasha at Mania, but then you have her eat a pin. Like, I don't know. Maybe she's gonna redeem it, but it just wasn't a good look.
Sure, makes sense to me. It's hard to explain, but you know, Derek makes a very strong point. Like, it's almost like they don't have anything else to do if they're wrapping literally all the belts for the ladies on one show in one storyline.
Yeah, that's why I was hella upset that when Nia and Shayna went to NXT to fight against Dakota and Raquel, and then Dakota and Raquel lost. Like, why? Like, Dakota,
they rewarded him by giving them belts for a couple minutes.
That's like a participation ribbon, because as soon as they won those titles, they lost it to Shotzi and Ember Moon, which is another slap in the face that I don't understand why that happened. But I digress.
Derek.
I don't have any answers because a lot of this stuff doesn't make any sense. I think the thing is that at times you get so mad because they could have done things that led in one direction or another, right? And then they just decide to all of a sudden, at least in the WWE universe, they decide to all of a sudden throw some shit together really fast to try to make it into a thing, right? Like Shane could have been fucking with Braun Strowman for a long time, But instead, they decided to try to throw it into a situation where all of a sudden Shane started fucking with Braun Strowman. It's kind of the same thing. I know for a fact, and I've talked about it on this show because I love to name drop and pat myself on the back about the interviews I've done. But I've known for a long time that Drew and Sheamus were friends. When I did an interview years ago when he wasn't even signed by WWE, and Sheamus was at his house in the background fucking annoying me, pestering me, because he didn't want to listen to Drew do some stupid interview with some dumbass podcaster. He wanted to drink with his friend and have a good time, right? So that the story of them being friends is a legitimate, real story, but it's not one that they've actually had in WWE for a long term. It's just something they manifested so that they could get to this point that they're at, and they started that shit like maybe 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
The Shane thing is even worse because Shane's performances have been awful.
Thank
He's
you.
like
what the
stammering,
what
and
the
rambles.
fuck?
Every
What is
promo
the-
he's been giving has been rambling nonsense.
Is he drunk?
And
I don't
it's-
even understand it.
It reminds me of how terrible he was during the "which way did he go? Which way did he go?" bullshit. he
Yeah.
did with the Big Show back in the day.
Yeah.
It's literally.
It's recycled. It's the recycled.
Exactly.
You're stupid and I'm smart and I'm like egging you into this. But
We're
what's the
gonna do
purpose?
hopscotch. We're gonna do hopscotch, and then I'm gonna pour green paint on you.
That's what I'm saying. At the very least, the stuff that they've been doing on SmackDown.
Like the video
Yes.
that Neo's playing right now, like Shane legitimately looks confused and lost. He's like,
This is on Botchamania. It's just a loop of Shane being a dumbass and
Yeah.
not saying anything.
yeah, it was
It's
so
pretty
good.
incredible.
It was
It's
terrible.
pretty good.
It's just
mean,
him.
Braun-
just-
Braun had more to say, yet the entire storyline is supposed to be how dumb Braun is. Like, it's fucking incredible.
It's like
And
one of those improv things where like the other person finally has this. So you were saying, Shane, that I'm dumb?
just gonna go run at.
My problem is that like I'm waiting for that layer, that wrinkle. Like, where is that revelation as to what Braun
Did to
did
him?
to Shane to upset him so
Shane
much,
called
right?
Braun stupid. Braun got mad.
That's literally all it is. Like, all of a sudden, Shane's like, I'm gonna bust the balls of the biggest
No,
guy on
and then he
the world
dumped
besides
Gak.
Almas.
He dumped Gak on him.
No, it was Nickelodeon slime. First of all, it wasn't Gak. It was Nickelodeon slime. It's the same
Same
shit that
thing.
Slime and Gak
he
is the
said.
same.
You don't do this on television or
Can't
whatever.
do that on television.
You can't do this on television.
Like, so you're
Yeah,
telling me in the world
I don't
of
know.
kayfabe-
I'm done.
Wait, you're telling me in the world of kayfabe that he
Derek
went
quit the
out,
show.
drew a hopscotch like thing ringside, right, in kayfabe, and then before the match started, he took a bucket of goo
and put it under there.
slime, put it under the ring with intent, mind you.
Dude, you
like,
raised the great points. That's
here's
my
the thing.
favorite thing about wrestling characters: the logistics, the things they have to go through. Like he either has to hire a guy to do that because I know it's a wrestling show, but why would they
Right.
do it? Shane's like, make a hopscotch pattern, but Shane, that's really stupid.
But-
Yeah, but we're
But
doing
why?
it.
We're not.
No,
We
my
don't have any
favorite-
games
my-
planned, and I fucking do what I told you to
My
do.
favorite thing
Exactly.
is my favorite thing is Shane's assistant's like, Shane, the order of Nickelodeon slime just came in. Are we going to charge that to the
See,
accounts payable account?
you
Yeah,
see,
just
you're
make sure you
thinking
don't say
differently than I-
Nickelodeon on TV because I don't want to have
Because-
to pay for that copyright.
Because
the
I
order
imagine
of
him-
generic slime came in?
I imagine him going to a PA for WWE and being like, I need you to go out and make me slime. So go get some Elmer's glue and some fucking some magic mix. And I want green food coloring. Don't
I see
fucking bring
R-Truth-
back purple or
Our
blue,
truth runs up and goes,
bright
"Need
green.
slime? I can get you slime." Our truth just runs on him. He has it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Oh, I have
It's in
this
the-
already. No worries.
It's in these canisters. I have them transport around from town
No,
to town.
I just want our truth to carry slime in like a fanny pack, just
Now we're
all
getting ready.
all the time, just all the time.
Yep.
Just rips open a fanny
All
pack
the
and then
time.
just
All right,
slime.
Derek.
Make that part of his finisher.
Get us
This
back
is
on track,
another-
buddy.
This is another baffling thing for me, right? Because we had R-Truth obtain the 24/7 championship on the Raw
Awarded.
By
Awarded.
asking for it.
by giving, well, not asking necessarily.
It was
He
a
did
fair
ask
trade.
nicely.
It was a fair trade.
It was a fair trade. He gave him a decent amount of Stone Cold Steve Austin swag, including that fucking belt. I would give anybody pretty much anything in my collection for that belt. So that's the way that goes.
You would trade your UK title for that Smoking Skull belt?
Probably.
Okay,
I don't know.
You have a replica
Speaking,
UK title, Derek?
I do. I have it right here, and it's ready to go at any time. Whenever I need to defend it, it's right here. Let's go. Let's go.
Nice. Yeah,
Nice.
dope.
I'm gonna roll you up sommelier style.
I'd like to see you try. I'm ready at all times. Trust me, when I was in the parking lot for AEW Revolution, there were several people doing streaming videos or some shit where they were holding a belt. I wanted to roll them all up. And your friend Mega Ran wouldn't let me, nor would Eric from Nerds, who was too busy doing a Pokemon transaction with Nyla Rose. It was a complicated evening, but let me tell you, I wanted to fucking win some championships in the parking lot of Daly's Place. They didn't let me.
You have the wrong manager, because if I was there, I would have assisted in the pin.
Oh, I know. You would have counted the motherfucking pin. You would have counted for me.
Mia would have been like pocket sand.
Next
I don't know where to go from here. Pro wrestling's been fun though. I don't know.
Okay, I think it's like what happened was I'll just sum this up. Andrade needs to go to ROH.
You're gonna do somewhere for the whole show.
Yeah.
Andrade needs to go to ROH.
No, go ahead.
AEW.
Shut up. Don't do a thing.
AEW greater than WWE this week. Let's just book Fastlane real quick. Ready?
Sure.
Okay. Universal Champion Roman Reigns versus DB. Who you got?
Reigns, obviously.
Yeah,
obviously. I still, like we all discussed, I think this ends up in triple threat match. They're pushing DB too hard. You know,
that's triple agree on that one. Women's tag team title, Nia and Shayna versus Bianca and Sasha. Which again, remember, this is a little weird because Bianca just ate that pin from no one meaner than Tamina.
I'm going to say they retain simply so that this leads to further, issues between Bianca and
Tamina.
No.
Sasha.
I hope they win because that actually is even more issues for them because now they got those tag titles and they're going to be facing each other at WrestleMania. So
see, that's some novella shit right there, Uncle Beak. I can appreciate that. But again, I say bonus points that the sommelier is probably going to take like a Meteora through a table or some shit. We'll see.
Ooh.
Next match, Intercontinental Championship, Big E versus Apollo Crews.
Dude, I love this fucking rivalry so much because it's become so personal. I love what it's done to Big E. I mean, Big E is the fun-loving, big man of the New Day, right? But this rivalry, dude, his attitude has changed, and I've already expressed in the past how I love the way, like, he kind of cuts a promo on Apollo, but then he'll get off the mic to be like, no, I'm talking to you personally now. Like, no, this isn't about them. This ain't about fucking wrestling bullshit. I don't fucking like you. And I'm not giving you no more chances. I gave you your fucking chances. Get your ass out of here. I got more people to fucking give an opportunity to. You're fucking at my spot. This is my time. I'm the Intercontinental Champion. You know what I mean?
His time is now.
His time is now, and your time is up. But I don't know. I think that there's been a lot of weird, like, controversy in a way around what Apollo is doing. And I think that, like, all I say is this: when a guy comes from a country and he does an accent from that country and you don't come from that country and don't know a lot about that country, maybe, just maybe, you should shut the fuck up and just let him do his thing, because I have a feeling he might know better than you do based on his ancestors and his relatives and his parents and his uncles and people that he's been around his entire fucking lives. I don't need someone commenting on his accent or the shit he's doing. I love it. It's the most we've ever seen out of Apollo. We've never seen anything character-wise out of him. So just maybe let it happen a little bit before you as a white dude is commenting online about it being racist. Let's let it play out just a little bit.
Well, I'm just offended as a wrestling fan that they're going with the cliche foreign role. No joking.
There you go. See, that's
a
something I could get behind being
That's
mad
some woke
about.
ass
There you
shit right
go.
there.
Yeah,
And hey,
that's
and
woke.
shout outs to Big E for partnering up, with his buddies to do that new show, the Our Heroes Rock. If you haven't,
that's dope.
it's so dope. It's the first of its kind. Honestly, I've never seen a show like this. I'm excited for my kids to watch it. So if you haven't already, if there's still time, try to back that show. Our Heroes Rock.
Correct.
I think
they already exceeded their limit, but definitely give them some more money, man.
Yeah,
awesome.
I think there's nothing wrong with adding more to the pot. So go ahead and add that if you can. So again, it's Our Heroes Rock.
Our Heroes Rock, and if you're not familiar with it, it's kind of this cross blend of like kind of animation and claymation and some other stuff, and it's essentially going to tell stories about like Black heroes and other people of color in all sorts of communities and what they've contributed to history.
It's the stuff that you really don't learn in the textbooks, like thoroughly.
It's not necessarily the Rosa Parks and everything like that. It's the deeper stories. It's the things like Neo said that you might not have heard of. I think that it's a tremendous idea and something that I don't know, like at times being the age we are.
Yeah.
Like it feels weird because when we were young, we were headed in the direction of shows like this and stuff like this becoming, popular and the norm and things that existed. And it's kind of weird that, here we are like 20, 30 years later, still needing to have people innovate with, stories and shows like this, right?
Like, it was slow going, man. Sometimes that stuff peters in, and unfortunately, and there's some people are resistant to change, and we've just got to be forthright and instill this stuff in our children, and that's an amazing thing to do.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see the robot Etor.
Yeah, that's right.
Etor.
That's so cool.
I love that so much. Oh,
that's the coolest right there.
Yeah, dude. Like my daughter legitimately asked me this week if she could write, because she had on Friday before they went on spring break, they had to come up with somebody historically significant to write about, and they all kind of got given different categories, and it wasn't necessarily like a Black History Month project or something like that. It was just somebody historically significant. And my daughter asked me, she's like, "You think I can write an article on Big E?" And that shit made me laugh because for some reason my daughter thinks Big E is one of the most incredible human beings on the planet. And I think it's probably because at times I talk about, the lack of representation, lack of Black champions and stuff like that. And I tell her how proud I am of Big E and what they're doing with him. But, you don't expect a kid that you're telling this shit to, who, to be honest, my daughter does not care about wrestling. The only thing she cares about are the New Day and Alexa Bliss. That's pretty much the majority of what she cares about in professional wrestling. And when I'm talking to her about this shit, it literally feels like it's going in one ear out the other. She's not watching it. She's playing on her tablet or coloring or doing some
whatever,
shit.
Devs,
Exactly.
Slams, whatever.
Right. But for her to retain it and then spit it back out at me at a later time, years later, especially when she doesn't even remember shit some of her own relatives' names, it's incredible to me that she's retained this information.
See, that's awesome right there. So I mean, I just hope this definitely comes to fruition and fast, and make that shit standard in kids' schools, please. I would appreciate that.
Absolutely. Well, just put it on YouTube. It's like you said with AEW Dark, right? Put it on YouTube, make it free, let everybody see it, put a bunch of commercials on it, whatever, who cares, but make it as widely available as possible.
So can we say we want Big E to win this one because we love him?
1,000%.
Okay.
I think, what's weird with me is it gets to the point, kind of like what's happened with Drew, where I kind of almost want at times the story to evolve, right? So maybe I'm not always in Big E's corner about him winning, because this thing with Apollo has gotten so personal. I almost feel at times, wrestling wise, a win is a necessity. They might not go in that direction, but I don't know, like for Apollo, I feel like this win would be huge, especially with the change of character, the change of attitude, just everything that he's done. I feel like it would fall in line with him kind of attacking Big E the way he did, and just this way this whole thing has gone with him kind of not letting up about the Intercontinental Championship. Apollo just doesn't want to give up on this thing that Big E has already told him several times. I've given you plenty of opportunities. The shit's over. Back of the line with you,
Man, I hate that we have to have these two guys pinned up against each other because I like them so much, and they look like they're just starting to go with Big E, and now they're finally going with Apollo, and they're pitting these guys, so somebody has to pay a cost. And my dog's freaking out. I'm gonna go with I want Big E to win this one, man. It's going with my heart. Dog, chill out. Sorry, guys, the dog didn't run in on the podcast.
Sorry,
he agrees.
Bronx is fucking. He's hyped.
Big
He's
E,
like, this
Big
is
E,
bullshit.
Big E.
Or he disagrees. We don't know.
Fuck you, Jeremy. What are you talking about, motherfucker?
All right, next match: Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. So very, very appropriately put. In the match in itself, I think the winner of this match is probably going to go into that triple threat match against Bob Lashley. So I want Drew to take this. I've seen Sheamus as champion. I like Drew as champion. I liked Drew as champion. I still want to see Drew as champion. So yeah, give me Drew McIntyre over Sheamus on this one.
I like what they're doing with Bobby, and I felt like Drew needed something different. It's kind of like what I was just saying about the Big E thing. Yeah. I don't mind Drew losing it. I don't mind him being kind of on the chase. I wouldn't even mind him getting kind of screwed over a number of times before he ever even gets the championship back. There's like a weird formula to getting baby faces to a point where we're all behind them, right? But sometimes the biggest problem is you can't really have a baby face be a long-term champion. It wears on people. People get bored with it. It doesn't matter who it is. Yeah. It could be the guy we wanted to win it the most of all, and you give it to him for 2 years and we'll all be sick of that shit. So I feel like this is a good move, and I feel like it might be a good move just to put Drew on the chase for a little bit longer. I know he has the championship match at WrestleMania, and I don't think that's going to change. I think that's still going to be a one-on-one championship. So I think Drew wins this match.
Right on.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. I think Sheamus is a great wrestler, but I think he's always best as the guy who's trying to stop from somebody on their climb and gets knocked down eventually, unfortunately. So I think Drew McIntyre is gonna take this one.
I got knocked out, but I've been up again.
He's gonna get Chumbawamba. It's a Chumbawamba situation.
It's Chumbawamba, yeah. It's obviously he's getting Chumbawamba.
All right. So next match is Shane McMahon versus Greenbeard Braun Strowman.
Oh yeah,
the
giant leprechaun, Braun Strowman.
Jesus Moses! I really hope Braun just beats the living dog shit out of Shane McMahon. I just don't like Shane in my WWE. Even as a quote unquote, if he's trying to be a heel, he's just not a cool or a fun or even an okay heel to watch. It's just asinine. So yeah, I just want Braun to just beat the dog shit out of him. I don't even care if they keep Braun as a bad guy. I just want him to beat the dog shit out of him.
What if this is actually a big setup for Shane bringing in somebody to be his guy, like a Dabba-Kato or something in the middle of this match? It has to be
something like that.
Dabba-Kato comes out and just starts beating the tar out of Braun.
It has to be.
It's just a big setup to beat this guy down.
That's some fedora ass bullshit right there.
He didn't announce it. He didn't announce it. Shut up. Put on your shut up. Announce it. Put on your fedora.
Yes, Dabba-Kato's gonna win this shit.
So. Put on your fedora.
Shane McMahon wins by some malarkey.
See, it was either that or like Brock Lesnar, but I don't imagine Brock Lesnar coming.
Shane and Brock.
That'd be that's kind of too big, but it could be right.
It's Fastlane, so I don't expect it either. But having Brock in the picture somehow, some way, could kind of lead to some malarkey ass bullshit at Mania as well.
It just, I still need something told to me, right? Like, here is what the problem is with this storyline and so many things that they're doing, especially around WrestleMania. Like, they just want to make it a storyline that carries over across 2 pay-per-views and gets to WrestleMania, right? Like,
Mhm.
so they want to start it after Royal Rumble ends, and they want to have it, and that's what they feel like is long-term booking with this situation, is having it last through both Elimination Chamber at Fastlane and making it to WrestleMania. This story makes no sense to me. So what Beak just said is like the only conclusion
Could be cool.
that's reasonable. It's the only conclusion that
it doesn't even necessarily
like,
have to be Daba. It could be just maybe there's somebody we don't even think of that Shane has
But
decided to
bring me
take on.
Walter.
that Shane's point was to basically antagonize the biggest guy on either show in wanting to fight him, so that this guy he's introducing could knock him out and prove that he's now the big dog in the yard. It's his yard, Roman, and this is his yard now. That kind of thing.
Doggies.
Big doggies. All right. So
I don't know.
I can appreciate that.
I feel like the only reasonable conclusion here is that Shane wins in some fashion due to malarkey, much like our friend Beak said.
Ill-fated malarkey. My dog is also attacking.
Ill-fated malarkey.
Wants your attention. Let's see. Last but not least, let's see. This one's kind of weird. Randy Orton versus
Alexa Bliss.
Alexa Bliss.
Say it.
Yeah,
Say
Alexa
it.
Bliss. So someone's gonna get RKO'd.
Yeah. Shut up, Alexa. Nobody asked for you to talk, you bitch. We were talking to you. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I kind of love this. I think that it's the only long-term storyline booking that they have. And it's, it's the dead clown's vampire angel girlfriend fighting, the
Snake
racist.
Man.
Yeah, him.
Snake
Man. I can't wait. I don't know where it's going to go. And I think that Alexa Bliss is going to win.
Snake Man, Dad.
Snake.
Alexa's definitely going to win this thing because Randy just comes in and beats up a girl and then stands there victorious. It was like, yay.
She's going to win this.
That would also be kind of hilarious.
She's going to win this because he's going to throw up black goo. And then when he slips, she's going to do a surprise roll up for a 1, 2, 3.
Correct.
And there it is.
Brandy slips in his own black puke.
Correct.
All right, and I think
that's the only logical outcome.
And then this is the last one. I think it's Riddle versus Ali.
I'll
take Riddle all day. Yeah, I like Riddle as champion, so give me that. Like
Matt. I realized the other night is that Matt Riddle is Raw's babyface. Like, you could say all you want about Drew being the champion or whatever. Matt Riddle is Monday Night Raw's biggest babyface. He is the guy that is cool with all the other baby faces. He helps them out. He chats with them and daps them up before their matches and shit. You don't see Drew doing any of that shit.
They get matching scooters with the New Day.
Exactly. He's the big man on campus around Raw. I still don't, whatever. I still feel like WWE is cowardly. I feel like WWE and their name redactions aren't always, just because they want to simplify it down to one word. We've talked about allegations and things that have been floated out there about Matt Riddle. And I think that that's a big part of the reason why they wanted to reduce his name down to just being Riddle. Whatever, man. I think that at this point, let's just fucking get on with life and call him Matt Riddle and stop with all of this nonsense. I don't know. I feel like when they do stuff like that, it's this, even though it's supposed to make me not remember, all it does is make me think all about it, right?
Remember when they changed his name? Remember when they changed his name because they thought we were too dumb to remember that his first name is Matt?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Infuriating to me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just not and then it makes me instantly think about all the other sexual abusers that WWE has under contract. I'm like, what's Velveteen Dream up to these days and shit? Like, I don't even know.
That's a name I haven't heard in a long.
Why doesn't he have a title belt?
Time.
Yeah, why isn't he showing up on NXT? I guess they're just waiting for us to forget, aren't they?
He got accused.
Yeah, as far as everything Derek said, all the serious stuff, if we're gonna go back to the actual match for a moment.
Sorry.
No worries. I I didn't really want to go into the whole Matt Riddle thing.
No, I know. I don't ever want to either, but here we are.
Yep. I want Ali to win this thing, man. I think Retribution has been totally floundering for ever since, well, forever. They they haven't done anything really notable whatsoever, especially after Ali came out as their leader. So him having their belt and actually giving them some substance and something to actually be about would be cool. And then also, having Ali as the United States champion would be pretty neato.
I watch wrestling at times with my wife, and I do that for the purpose of being able to sneak it in before we do this show.
Heyo.
And I hate the fact that at times she asks really relevant questions that I don't even have an answer to, right? So one of those relevant questions was, what happened to Lana's dancing ability? And I was like, I don't know. What do you mean? And she was like, wasn't she in that Kelly Jackal video for the Paramore song? And wasn't she dancing in that? And then we watched it on YouTube and confirmed that Lana can dance her ass off, or at least used to. So I don't know what the fuck's going on. But again, now she's all in my head. And I'm like, is this some sort of long-term storyline where she can't dance as good as Naomi and they're going to build that into a bigger thing? I don't fucking know. But now that's where I'm at. So while we were watching this match, which was the U.S. title match of Riddle against Ali on Raw, she proceeded to say, how is it that a guy who has like 6 people at ringside couldn't win this match? And I was like, I don't have an answer for you on that.
And his whole point is he's trying to show them how to win. Like, well, he's trying to prove a point to them. And
that's his whole gimmick. My
bigger problem is that I didn't expect Retribution to win a match so much so to the point where I had 0% expectation that Ali was going to win. There was no thought in my head that he was going to win. So it was kind of funny to me that she pointed out to me, basically Ali had every advantage at his disposal and still couldn't pull off victory.
But that's the thing. Like, that's why he yells at Flapjack and Icebox and paper cut
and lunchbox and Snapchat.
Embrace.
Yeah.
Oh, Snapchat's my favorite. Put them all in the dumpster.
No, honestly, I think they're just building to these motherfuckers finally getting fed up with this shit and then all turning babyface, which is ridiculous because nobody supports these fuckers.
Like you're right. Like I don't know where the move is going, but yeah, you're right. Like that feels like that's what they're building up to. They're building up to because he's been slapping them around and being like just shitty to them.
Like also
T-Bar's like,
I'm
inevitable.
not T-Bar. I'm Donovan Dijak.
I'm Donovan Dijakovic. And we're like, what? You said the wrong name. See, you don't even know what his real name is anymore. He's just T-Bar to you now.
Feast your eyes on Tail Bar.
Yeah.
The T stands for trans rights.
I don't know where to go from here.
Well,
do we have any more matches on the card, or is that it?
That's it, boys. Let's
call it a wrap.
We rode it till the wheels fell off.
Yeah, I just want to thank y'all for being here, and let's stop that Asian hate out there. So if you,
fuck yeah,
if you see a fellow Asian out there in the streets, make sure you keep 2 eyes up and make sure. Just keep watch their backs, man, because it's a fucking shit show out there, and fuck whoever is doing all that bullshit. Fuck you.
Let them know you got their back. If you see it, say, "Hey, I got your back."
More importantly, let's get rid of
whatsoever.
Get rid of this bullshit. Even if you say it with your friends or shit as a joke, whatever, it doesn't matter. This fucking kung flu shit, all of this other shit that spreads that hate, spreads that whole fucking
China virus, like
the China virus,
you Cheeto bastard. Fuck
dude,
off.
honestly, I didn't realize at first why that was so bad, but then like as soon as somebody pointed out, it's like, duh. It escaped me. It was like, well, it started in Wuhan. That makes sense. But no, we can't blame this entire virus on one particular people. That's fucking bullshit. And then it is
bullshit.
It's like 9/11 all over again with fucking the way Middle Eastern people were fucking targeted over nonsense they had nothing to do with. So fuck this bullshit.
No, and you're absolutely right, because like that was hard for me because some of my best friends at the time were Middle Eastern, right? So it was like all of a sudden I had to fucking become defensive all the time, and was especially sensitive in like scenarios where I was in groups and they'd start talking about like terrorists and Middle Eastern people, and I got set off, like these are people I know. It's just like anybody else. These are people we know. There's no reason to generalize and fucking do this shit. All it does is create hatred and these scenarios that we fucking
Dude, I grew up in Washington,
experienced,
where
unfortunately.
not too far where there was a Japanese internment camp. So that kind of bullshit is known up here. There's a lot of Asian population up here. There's a large Asian population. It's nonsense. Fucking bullshit. Leave these people alone. It's uncalled for. I know it's easy to say. It's fucking disgusting.
Exactly. So we're big advocates for that, and we continue to Black Lives Matter as well.
Yeah.
Wear your mask.
Lives matter.
Wash your hands. Trans lives matter.
Drink your water.
Eat your vegetable, maybe.
Wash that ass.
Take care of yourself.
That's super important. Wash that ass.
Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Like, it's weird, but one of the things that I've realized is we've just gotten so far away from just being kind to each other and just, trying to take care of each other. We've lost a lot of people over the last year, people that will never get back. We've lost famous people. Anybody attached to fucking in any way to honoring like Brody's memory, Bruiser Brody has had bad luck. That's a terrible curse that we had between Josephus and losing Brody Lee and all of that shit, right? Like, we've lost a lot of people over the last year. And like a lot of good people in the wrestling community, a lot of good people in life. Let's just try to be nicer to each other and remember that this kind of thing, like, I don't know, spreading hateful, even stuff you might just kind of find as being funny, like jokes that you're passing around, can really spread the hate more than you even realize. Like, we've all been ignorant to shit, and we've all learned as we've gone along, right?
The other thing that I thought was super bullshit is how -1 is getting flack for just kind of being a kid on a wrestling show. Like, fuck you. Like, if you have a bad opinion about -1 just being on AEW because he's part of a group.
Well, they're even getting heat to the company saying that they're trying to utilize the kid and exploit the kid. No, that's not at all what's going. This is his extended family. He's part of his family. He's taking part in something he feels deeply connected to. Why are people?
I think I've even said it. But in reality, what it really is the extension of the memory of John Huber, and also trying to just do something nice for his family.
Exactly.
Like I like I said, I've said it myself. The words have exactly come out of my mouth where I said at times this feels exploitive of the kid because of the fact that they took a storyline that was kind of just a nice way to honor somebody that we lost and have continued to extend it into a storyline.
But how's it really explained? Like, who is really like tuning in because, whoa, we might see -1 on TV again? Like, it literally is just a nice thing.
Right.
That's how
it's something that I've even said.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why I say it is because it's a kid.
And it gets to a point, you're protective. It makes sense. Like, I don't see the fault in it, but just putting that negativity out in the world is unnecessary.
I think what it is at the end of,
if he lives in Florida and then there's spring break, right? Like, it's not hard for him to show up to the show,
none of that is outside of the realm. It's more of AEW doing a television storyline with this child as a part of it, right? And I think that a lot of people don't know where it's going, so
John
they
Cohen's
immediately
son won a fucking title.
There you go. That also exploitive.
I will say this: like, I've only seen -1 on Dark, and which is again free on YouTube, so it's not like on TV. And I've seen him in backstage segments on Dynamite. Like, that's
really getting those ratings. Those ratings are really coming in because the kids on the show.
Yeah, and that's after John Hubert passed away. Of course, he was like on the main show, but after that, since then, he's never been like on the main show per se. At least not to my knowledge. He's always only been on Dynamite or in backstage segments.
He sent out the Dark Order one night on the main event to go help to go help Hangman and stuff like that.
The point is, the kid's having fun. Like,
That's
why
the bigger
why
thing.
should we be so
Yeah.
concerned away that Amanda Huber and her son want to have their lives
Yeah.
beyond wrestling? Like,
I'll tell you the reason why is because people feel the need in today's day and age of social media and everything else to really give their personal opinions on all of that kind of shit,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the story that Mega Ran was telling me about this woman that basically kind of used the Black Lives Matter movement and such, and being a person of color and a woman to get an Xbox for free from Microsoft, and then the nightmare that her life turned into simply because she got a free Xbox from Microsoft, right? The story,
Lord.
hearing the story made me kind of hate everybody involved. It's not like I was on the woman's side or Xbox's side or the people who were mad at her side. It just, hearing it made me just kind of hate everything and social media and everything, like, because it's like, well, I don't like her because of the way she did that just to get some free shit. But then, yeah, those people went way too far. Wait, they contacted like her job. Wait, they sent an ambulance to her house on a health check because they said she was going to commit suicide. What the fuck is wrong with people? Like,
They
every
doxed her.
step, they doxed the shit out of her basically. And it's like every step of the story made me just realize how bad we as a society can be. So it kind of just goes back to that whole thing. Just be nice, right?
nice.
Like, a family lost the biggest part of their family. Not only was he, the centerpiece of their family, not only was he the head of the table, right? He was also, the breadwinner and all of this other stuff. If a kid wants to, honor his father's memory and live out his fantasies a little bit while also, being on a wrestling stage, I think we can all just kind of let that one slide. I think
if
we
this
can
is
all
still going
just
on
be
5 years from now and the kid's still a non-wrestling character running around, and okay, maybe we're getting a little bit out of hand here. This is a little bit ridiculous.
Say what you will, but I love Hook. So I am okay with some of these wrestlers' kids running around. Not to mention that Dominic Mysterio one of these days is going to give me some awesome like DM merchandise in the WWE store. So I'm all fucking down for that too, in a really selfish way.
Greedy bastard.
Oh yeah, you know it. That's all this is about. It's all about me, god damn it. But I want to thank you guys so much for listening to episode 437 of the Steel Cage podcast. And before we go, I want us all to give our winners of the week. So I will start with you, Neo. Let's start off with your winner of the week.
I'll say my winner of the week is I'm gonna get shit for this. Shingo Takagi.
God. The monkeys, Neo. The fucking monkeys.
He had a banger of a match, dude. I'm sorry, man. He had some.
No worries. I'll get. Totally perfect, Derek.
God damn it.
If you don't know,
He's a beast. No worries. I
the
get
New
it.
Japan Cup is on and popping, and get your brackets up and running. But Shingo right now, that monkey man is.
You can't call him that. Don't do that to me.
He beat the dog shit out of Okada, and then he tried to watch the match with him and Hiroki Goto. I mean, this fool just puts out bangers anytime, every time. So Shingo is my winner of the week.
How old is he, by the way? Because he's really young, right?
Yeah, he's pretty damn young, dude. I want to say he's like in his late 20s, early 30s, maybe. But
he's got to be a future. You got to be a future champion.
Yeah, man. It was kind of like
champion.
It was a toss up between he and maybe Cobb in New Japan, but honestly, Shingo's just been rocking it. So,
all right. Well, I will turn it over to Uncle Beak. Beak, besides your dog Bronx, who's your winner of the week?
I'm going with somebody who recently announced they're going to be coming out of retirement. So whether this is, always pans out, we'll see. But X-Pac, my winner of the week is Sean Waltman. He announced that he's going to be coming out of retirement. He recently had knee surgery. He's on his way to road to recovery. So it's going to be a while. He said the earliest he'd be returning is probably January of next year. But
yeah,
we might see some X-Pac matches.
Is he going to wrestle with his dog and the baby Bjorn in the front, like we've seen him every time in public?
Me and
for the
Bronx
last
would
5
be
years?
a big fan of that.
Hell yeah, that's crazy. All right. Well, I'm going to give a real winner of the week. No offense to the two of you. But I'm going to give it to Britt Baker because
I was going to say
holy
that, but
shit, what a match, right? I think we've already said enough about that match. Definitely check out the main event on AEW Dynamite this week. It's incredible. It's violent. It's awful. It's everything that you want in a unsanctioned street match. Lights out, barroom brawl.
Lights out,
Coal miner's glove
unsanctioned.
on a pole match.
Uh-huh.
There it is.
Correct. But I think that it's it's weird to have these moments where you watch two women just really beat the shit out of each other and you're like, equality. You know, like it feels right. It feels right to have it be more about the violence than it is about anything else, you know. And like in this case, they have definitely, you know, they focused on, you know, the hatred of these two women and how it's kind of come to this pinnacle. I don't want to say climax because that feels dirty, and I will just say that it was a beautiful violent thing.
Yeah,
beautiful violent lucha thing.
The pinnacle of violence these warriors put out, man. Like it's definitely one for the books. I mean, this is just the nerd in me, but I'm wondering what Meltzer's gonna rate this one.
It's not in the Tokyo Dome, so it has to be 4 stars or less. First of all,
4.7.
Symphony of Destruction.
4.75 maybe. I'm thinking because this thing was pretty much a banger.
You know, I think that it's just one of those matches that, like, it was like opening a fun Christmas gift where someone decided to wrap like your present in 4 boxes, so every time you open it up and think you're getting to the inside, there's another gift there to wrap.
But it was cool wrapping paper. It wasn't like just blank boxes.
And then when you got to the middle, it was thumbtacks, and you thought it was going to be teeth.
Ew.
Oh, but thank God for these women. And again, thank God for Thunder Rosa too. I don't want to go without saying that again, because I really feel like there's something about the minute that Thunder Rosa showed up in AEW where it felt like the women's division went into 5th gear. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
hell yeah.
I mean, there were other women that showed up around that same time, but prior to that, it definitely felt like Britt Baker was the shining star. And, you know, and no offense, I think what it really is it's American televised wrestling, right? So you can wrestle your ass off like some of the women can, or some of the international talent that they've brought in can. But if you're not a character like Maki Ito, if you're not a character like Thunder Rosa or like Britt Baker, it's hard for us to get behind you in the same way. You know, Rio is an incredible wrestler. She does an incredible wrestler, but neither of them have very much going on for them aside from the fact that they are very good technical wrestlers, you know. And I just think you need more, you know, and especially with the women's division that's kind of new and starting up. That's the one thing that they're missing is just more character, and they're getting to that point.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, Britt is. They talk about MJF being a star that they've developed, and Britt Baker really is someone that they've slowly built the character with all the vignettes and everything, and then her wrestling has come along so well, and then the fact that she was able to go out there and bust out a bloody brawl like this, I was like, you got to give your hats off. I'm really impressed.
Let's not forget too, like in the beginning of AEW's infancy, like she was considered a good girl, like a face, if you will.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden just kind of flipped it on his head and took it up to 11. Yep. So I'm glad that Britt Baker and Reba or Rebel are just, you know, doing the damn thing. Keep it up, women. Keep it up, ladies.
You know, one thing I want to say about her is you're absolutely right. Like, we met her at Double or Nothing when Rand was doing that after party.
Oh, dude, that was so fucking cool.
And we did the sing-alongs and shit, right?
Yeah.
And she was absolutely, I think she might have had just a little too much to drink that night, but she was absolutely the sweetest, nicest person at that, right? You remember how nice she was? Like,
she was so cool.
I never in a million years imagined her being this, like, good as a heel, this diabolical, this evil, this sinister, just everything she's been. Tonight though, it was that peak for me. Like,
Yeah.
just that Crimson Mask, the shit she was willing to, like, she's a fucking dentist in real life. She's gonna go to work tomorrow.
Yeah, just imagine that. Like, you're going, look, dude, look at my dentist. She gave me a filling, bro.
It's fucking hilarious to me.
Awesome.
She's gonna go like do real work tomorrow. But anyway,
Yeah,
God bless you, Britt Baker.
Adam Cole will take some notes, I hope, because she did the damn thing.
You know what? That's why fucking Kyle O'Reilly isn't showing up at his house, is because he knows that he has to deal with Adam Cole and Britt Baker's ass. No one wants to do that. No one wants to do that.
Meanwhile, somewhere Adam Cole is applying Neosporin to Britt Baker's back.
Oh.
Individually pulling out each one of those little thumbtacks, Oh shit. Well, thank you guys again so much for listening to episode 437 of the Steel Cage.
And those who watched us on Twitch.
Yeah, those three viewers, now we're down to one viewer.
We got three though. Well, we were
whoever
that
at one
3.
guy is. Thank you.
Appreciate
thank you for
That's
listening.
cool.
We appreciate you. You can get us all on what is it? The Twitter with the little birdie.
The bird guy.
Beak is at James Vanderbeek. That's JAIMS Vanderbeek. I am at Cap_Caveman with a K. And Neo is at the Neo X with an ECKS at the end and not an X. But of course, all roads lead to at the Steel Cage. Send us an email to podcast@thesteelcage.com. Josh, do we have any emails? No, we do not. But we will be sent your emails, and we promise to read them on this very show. If you're a Twitch follower, you're a Twitch streamer, or whatever. I don't know. I'm old. I don't know what you are. Whatever you are, send us an email. We'd love to read it. We'd love to hear from you. Send us a little thing on the screen, and Neo might read them if you do the little chat with the words. Whatever. Send us whatever. We'll answer your questions.
We'll see what happens. But in the meantime, we'll use my Twitch channel, but maybe we'll have a Steel Cage one coming up soon. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned for that. Also, please check out the other shows we do on the steelcage.com. We are very proud of all of them. There's the Unfunny Nerd Tangent with nerds doing their tangents on unfunny things. You can catch that monthly, bi-weekly. I don't know when it comes on. There's this other thing that Tim and I do. It's a date rating show. It's not a date. It's called Dates, but it's not about dates. It's about snacks. And we rate them. But
I'll tell you guys,
of course,
my first date, so you guys can rate it.
That's what we really want to do, is we really want to rate people's dates. This is just it's step 1 in our 5-step plan to getting to be essentially Dateline from
that is just
what was it?
People just growing dates, and they just rate their dates that they grow.
There is a date
Beautiful
shop there's a shop that sells dates milkshakes in between here in California. Let me tell you, it's my favorite place to stop.
Really? Because I pass by it all the time when I go to California in Dateland, and I've never stopped there.
Dateland, yes, Dateland, California. The date shake is delicious. You got to stop and try the date shake. Try the date milkshake. Get back to me.
I passed Dateland on.
I want to be so dated.
Yes,
I pass it on the way to Mexico. I'll stop there next time then, because I've always passed.
Right.
Like, I don't give a fuck. What the?
No, you should do it. Do it just for us. Do it for us and think of us. Derek and Tim eat snacks. We eat snacks. There's other shows, the Hogsman. There's the Matt Mania podcast that I guess Neo's a part of. I don't know.
And then there's also another one coming out. Hopefully Steel Cage picks it up. I'm pitching it. It's the title is still pending. It's called The Weekly Beef.
We're not going to pick it up.
Okay. But I'll be on Twitch, on my Twitch on Fridays watching Kung Pao.
It's not going to be there. You're not going to get it there either.
We're going to watch Kung Pao this Friday, and we're going to
okay.
So you can watch it along with us.
Well, we'll put that audio somewhere.
I don't even know.
Send it to me. Yeah, it'll be available somewhere. Maybe it'll be available on the Steel Cage. Who knows? But thank you guys again for listening. And, we appreciate you. We appreciate our Twitch listeners or viewers. Now I have to fucking deal with viewers on here.
Yeah,
I have to deal with that on the snack thing.
Viewing.
They're not fucking viewers. They're listeners. And Tim never listens to me about
3 viewers.
Don't even. It's a whole other thing. All right. Well, thank you again for listening to episode 437 or viewing it. And remember, kids, get yourself some gear. That's step 1.